All right. What's up, guys? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Man, so kind of what I want to do is I'm just gonna do like either like every 6 months or like a year kind of video log of just kind of where I'm at in my life, and I'm not doing this because I'm like some self-centered, ungrateful, bastard. I'm just doing this because I kind of want to document the path I'm going through. And I wish I started this at a little earlier stage, and I kind of got this from Gary Vaynerchuk, I think you say his last name. He's an entrepreneur and a very very good motivational speaker, and he kind of pushed me in a way to kind of made me want to kind of do something like this, you know. What he said in one of his videos is he was like if he's like imagine documenting the first time, you know, Michael Jordan ever shot a basketball, and documenting every one of his games and being able to show that, because Michael Jordan was also kicked off of the high school basketball team. So imagine like documenting all the success and failures, all the failures that he had, and then finally he gets that one success. And it kind of helps me kind of go back and reevaluate kind of where I'm at in life, and the things that I've done and things I haven't done. And if it motivates some people, then perfect. If it motivates one person to make a change within themselves, then that's great. That's something that's always going to be a bonus for me, and that's something I always strive for, is to help other people. But kind of what I want to talk about is just I guess where I'm at, and and kind of like my story a little bit, without getting too personal and too crazy. But sometimes what I'm talking about is like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a millionaire. Maybe one day I'll be, who knows. But just talking about like happiness, and kind of going in a direction that I, just kind of going in a direction that I think is good for most people. And what I mean by that is like, you know, if your goal in life is to be a millionaire, then go right ahead. Who are you to knock on somebody else's goal? But it's like, you don't have to be a millionaire to be happy. Being happy and having success. Success is just being happy, man. Success can be a million different things. Success to me is being wealthy and happy. I mean, you don't have to have your own place. You don't have to have $1 million. You don't have to have a big mansion. You don't have to have 1,000 cars. But if you're happy where you're at and with your job, and you're happy with the majority parts of your life, then I think you're doing success. You're being successful. To me, a big part of success to me is doing what you love, and this is why I constantly pursue and try to grow in the career path that I'm taking. And it's different from some people. Some people, maybe it's working for the government, maybe it's doing this or that, or a world champion at this thing, or whatever it may be, or maybe success to them is finding a rich husband or a rich wife or something like that. So it's like whatever your success is your success. Gary V kind of says something I really like. This guy is such a motivation guy, man. If you haven't checked him out, please do, man. But he helped me with something. He's always helped me, but he said something in one of his video logs, and he kind of talks about, he kind of talks a little bit about, he goes, he's like, if you're only making $30,000 a year, $20,000 a year, it's okay. He's like, as long as you're happy making that. Like, if you're making $30,000 a year and you're going home playing video games, or going home and sitting on your couch, drinking your life away, or whatever it may be, like going out that night to the club, and that's something that you like to do. Hey, man, if that is what you like to do and you are happy and you're satisfied with that, then you're winning. But if you're making $20,000 a year and you are unhappy with where you're at in life, and you want to achieve things, and you could do more, that's when you're making a mistake. That's when that's on you. That's not the economy. That's not the president. That's not your parents. That's nobody's fault but your own. If you could do more. And it's like, I just had a talk with a good friend of mine, kind of talking about this, and just kind of ways to kind of stay on the grind, and to kind of keep your head up and above water, and some extra ways to kind of to achieve some goals that he's trying to achieve, and he kind of talked about my story. So I kind of want to get onto that a little bit, just because, like I said, this is something that I kind of want to look back a year from now, 10 years from now, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, and be like, Dang, that's where I was, cause I know where I'm going in life. I know eventually I'm gonna hit my goals and achieve them. I know because I believe in myself very strongly. And I know I'm with a good core group. I'm with a good team that I'm with right now. I've got good people around me, nothing but positive vibes. A lot of people that support me in what I do, and I'm very grateful for that and thankful. Um, so I know I'm gonna eventually achieve what I want to achieve. It's just a matter of time, and not trying to sound cocky. That's just I just believe in myself. I mean, you have to believe in yourself before anything. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, I truly don't think that you can achieve what you want in life. If you don't believe that if you want to win a world championship in basketball, jiu-jitsu, football, whatever it is, if you want to win something, you have to believe that you're going to win it. You can't go to a championship match and being like, we're probably gonna lose. Like you have to believe. Like you have to truly believe that you're gonna win. Mike Tyson said something. He's like, you know how? He's like, I knew I was gonna win. The fight was already over before we stepped in the ring. He already knew. He knew walking in there that he was gonna win. And I think that mindset is very important. You know, it's very important. But there's a difference between being cocky and confidence. And cocky is kind of rubbing it in other people's face and bragging about it and all that. And that's not what I'm trying to give across by any means. Like I said, I'm very grateful of where I'm at. I'm very, I want to say lucky. I'm very fortunate to where my life has gone this past year. I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of rocky roads. And I could not get there alone. I'm very glad happy with the family that I'm with. Um, so to kind of start a little bit, so my ultimate goals right now in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is to eventually have my own academy for sure. I want to have a couple academies, man. I want to have an academy overseas somewhere. If not an academy, an affiliation somewhere. I want to have an academy somewhere nice, where it's nice weather, it's pretty warm. I'm having a good time. I want to have a couple academies. I want to have like an online database where people want to go to for techniques. I want to teach police force. I want to teach people. I want to give somebody, of course, every instructor wants to give a service for people, but like I want to help people with self-defense or people with depression. I started out training jujitsu back in 2011. June 1st, 2011 was when I or around that time was when like I started officially training. And what I mean by officially is like slightly before that. I mean, I was YouTubing things and always like experimenting a little bit with the girlfriend at the time and when I came into the academy, I remember like I took my first class took my first class at actually McGill's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in White Oak. First class there. Signed up actually for 2 months. I was dropping $220 a month. It was in a little like apartment, not even apartment, a little like room in like some giant complex kind of thing, some office building, and it was very small. But I was a car mechanic. I had no bills. I was living at home with my father, and I was like, I didn't understand anything about money, like financial management, or anything. I was just dumping money wherever I could. I wasn't very smart. But I only went to class like 2 or 3 times max, and I was like, like I mean, I wasted that fucking money. Excuse my language, but absolutely wasted that money. But when I left there and again went back to YouTube, went into Crazy 88 up here in Elkridge, Maryland. Went there, and tried a trial. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way. They were a little too pushy as far as business goes. So I left and I went to ground control where Keith Jackson, he was a purple belt at the time, and he was teaching me. And phenomenal instructor. I mean, super very technical, and he taught the concepts very well, and he actually like taught like the martial art side of it, like the respect and everything. I really loved that. But it was so laid back, and that's what made me sign up there. Is it was just so laid back, man. But anyway, so I went and I was training there, and it was super good. And I started training because I was in a long-term relationship. Long term for me, it was 3 years, and it ended pretty kind of like unexpectedly. I wasn't ready for it to end. It wasn't on my terms; it was her terms. So of course, it really like took a dagger, and it kind of sucked. Sucked a lot. I lost a lot of weight from the depression. I didn't know kind of what was going on, and it's funny. I was actually like right before that. Before all this, I went through another depression state where I signed up for the Marine Corps actually, and was in the delayed entry program for like 6 months, 5 6 months, something like that. Left for boot camp. Had a knee injury, a slight knee injury. I didn't think much of it when I went to boot camp, and it just progressed and got worse and worse. And well, I ended up getting. Long story short, is 3 months later into boot camp, I got 3.5 months later into boot camp, I got an honorable medical discharge. So it was nothing bad, but it wasn't like I was getting better, but I wasn't getting better fast enough. And so they sent me home and they told me, hey, look, in a year you can re-enlist. And, so I'm like, all right. So I'm depressed because I'm like, hey, my life is set. I'm going to be in the military. I'm going to be a Marine, blah, blah, blah. And I was like really upset because it was like embarrassing. I let my family down. I let my friends down. I let everybody down. And I was like, and I didn't want to go home, but it happened, it's just life took its course, and it wasn't for me, I guess. I truly believe that everything in the end is going to eventually wind itself out, as long as as long as you keep pursuing it and you keep pushing. You can't just sit on your butt and expect things to go up. It's not going to happen. So like, I got out of boot camp and I didn't know what to do, and I was depressed, and then my mentality changed. The girlfriend broke up with me. I was even more depressed. So I actually joined ground control, like, hey, I want to fight MMA. Like, I had all this anger built up, and I got into everything, and I realized that I hated being punched in the face. And I was like, I just want to do jiu-jitsu. This is fun, because jiu-jitsu is where I found that, like, my passion was for it, because, like, nothing else mattered in the world but training. Nothing else mattered when I was training jiu-jitsu but trying to stop that guy from choking me or sweeping me or passing my guard. Like, nothing else mattered. So it's like, it didn't matter how crappy my day was, how upset I was, or anything, and nothing else mattered. Didn't matter what bill was late. All that mattered was I could just train. I just focused about training. I didn't think about anything. Nothing happened. It was like, you didn't think about anything till the end, and that made me feel so good. And to get that workout, endorphins out, it made me feel amazing. So I train for the therapeutic reason. I want to train jiu-jitsu because it helps me cope with I don't want to say I have depression, but I had a period of time that made me depressed, and it really helped me overcome that. And everybody deals with their own form of some type of depression. So that's why I started training jiu-jitsu. But what happened was like, I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods. I was working about 35 to 40 hours a week. I hated my job because it was retail. It was like I was kind of like manning the front end. I was a front end supervisor. I'm like it was just chaos, man. I was around people that were just so negative, employees yelling at you, all this stuff that if you work in any retail business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was just stupid stuff. People coming by, like, trying to return shoes that are like 10 years old, and then they yell at you because like, hey, look, our policy says this, I can't do it, and they still want to do it. Or, oh, there was a sign over there for buy one, give 50% off. You're like, and then you prove to them there was a sign next to them, and then they're still like, no, you guys should give it to me for this price. Or it's like just stupid things, They just always belittle you. So it's like that. It made me upset, and I was, I work. And I just worked just for a paycheck. I didn't work because I wanted to, like I didn't love my work. I didn't wake up wanting to go to my work. And so then I started. I had a talk with a friend. This guy Cesar Cabrera. Cesar Cabrera kind of really like. He was the first one that kind of sparked my mind as far as like making jiu-jitsu a living. As he was like, hey man, he's like, what do you want to do for a living? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, I mean, what do you want out of life? Like, what is your goal? What do you want to achieve? I was like, I don't know, man. I want to teach jiu-jitsu. I want jiu-jitsu to be a living. He's like, look, you don't have any major bills. You don't have a house. You don't have kids. This is the perfect time for you to chase your passion. He was like, do what you love. He was like, quit your job and just start doing what you love, and you're eventually going to make it work. And it's like, when he said that, it kind of stuck in my head, and sure enough, I went in there, I put my 2 weeks notice into Dick's Sporting Goods. I left, signed up, or had a membership at LA Boxing, and I was trying for so long to teach jiu-jitsu to them. I couldn't teach jiu-jitsu to them. Like, they didn't have a jiu-jitsu program in the Columbia location, so I was like, nah, hey, let me teach jiu-jitsu, They wouldn't take it in, And I was a 3-stripe white belt trying to teach jiu-jitsu there, but I was like, I'm just gonna teach fundamentals. I don't even care. I was trying whatever I could, and then I remember like what I started doing is I started like I would just bring my friends would sign up at LA Boxing, or I'd bring them in a free trial. And anytime the manager was there, I'd bring the kids, or I'd bring my friends in, and we would grapple inside the ring. And I knew nothing. I mean, dude, we were just hurting each other, neck cranks, all kinds of stuff. Like I was so out of control, cranking arm bars. It was terrible. It was absolutely like completely terrible. But so I'm like, I'm rolling with my friends and pretty much teaching a class in front of the instructor, in front of the manager, to prove that, hey, look, there's some money here. So I'm like starting to kind of push something onto him, and then what happened is like, finally I got brought on to do like cardio kickboxing, and then he came to me, he was like, all right, look, man, let's do a jiu-jitsu class once a week. So then that started kicking off, and the next thing it was twice a week, and things were pretty good. I was doing decent. Now I was living with my mother at the time. I was being paid between like 1,200 to 1,400 a month, but only working like 15, 16 hours a week. It was amazing. It was great. I was doing what I loved, and I think that's what made me happy. I was like, I had free time to do what I want, and I really liked that mindset. And I was like, this is great, man. I was like, I don't want to do, like, I did door-to-door sales for a little bit. I hated door-to-door sales. It was terrible. It was absolutely horrible. I hated it. I just, everybody's rude. It's like, but again, it's like, it's something that you got to experience it. Just to know that you never want to do that again. Like, I had to experience getting punched in the face to realize I didn't want to do MMA. It's like, I want to do jiu-jitsu. So you have to experience the hardships and the bad times to know that you never want to go back there. Hit rock bottom. So I was like, I don't want to fucking be there again. So then, like, Keith, the instructor I was under, he left. The owner of Ground Control Columbia was Rocky. And Rocky gave me a call, and he was just like, hey, man, he's like, Keith left. We need somebody to help us out with the academy. Hey, we want to offer you a deal, or, we'll pay you more than what you're getting paid at LA Boxing, and you just, you help teach classes. And I was a brand new blue belt. I was training 8 months. I knew nothing, but I was like, you know what, dude, it was my dream job. I was like, let's do it. Let's go. I knew nothing about sales. I knew nothing about how to teach classes. I was thrown into teaching kids classes, which I was put in a situation where I shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have been teaching all this stuff that early, but I'm grateful for it because it did make me who I am. It did make me to my level. So it's like, if I had to go back and do it again, I would do it the exact same way. So I appreciate him and all that for the opportunity that they gave me for, again, that, like I said, it's made me who I am and put me in the shoes that I'm in right now. But so, I'm teaching at Ground Control, and the next thing I know, I get promoted, and I'm making some decent money. I'm like, all right, this is great. I still don't really have bills. Long story short, at Ground Control, a couple of years go by, and me and the owner just weren't quite seeing eye to eye as far as like what I wanted to achieve as my goals, and what he wanted to achieve. So we respectfully parted our ways. He went his way, I went my way. And he's doing extremely successful, and he always will. He's a very good person, a very good entrepreneur, and has a very good mindset. So he's gonna be successful. He went his way, and I went mine. And where I left is I came over to Gracie, Maryland, with Mike Stewart, and it was kind of funny because like I used to call Mike Stewart all the time and message him like, bro, he's like, how do you teach these kids, man? How do you teach these kids I get the kids are running around the mats, like, and I was so afraid to be stern with them and tell them, hey, sit down. Like, I was so afraid to do that stuff, but then I later found out that's what the parents want you to do. Like, it's something that you just have to get over. I was like, and I remember one of the parents, like, it was actually this one parent, Dan. He came up and he was like, hey, look, man, and I told him the story, and when he actually said it to me, it finally took that shield away from me. Like, Mike's been telling me it for a while, but it just never clicked until like one of the parents actually said it to me. Then I finally like, okay. This is what he's been telling me the whole time, and like now parents like backing it up, and they said like, look, we put our kid here for you to do that. If you don't do it, we're gonna do it, and we're paying you to do that. If our kid's acting up and not paying attention, I expect you to yell at them and to punish them for it, respectfully, not like respectfully, like be stern to them, control the class, like take control of it, and I remember up in Owings Mills when I taught the Owings Mills Ground Control Kids program. I remember this guy, Nick Ehrlich, came to me. Nick Ehrlich was like, one time after class, and it pissed me off so much, man. But that's because, like, I had a terrible mindset. He came up to me, he was like, bro, he was like, are you proud of your program? And I wasn't at all. I didn't know how to teach kids. I had a kids class with a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old in the same class. I was the only instructor. I had no experience teaching. He was like, I was in a little room, so like the parents sat in the room and cell phones are going off and people are talking. It was the worst atmosphere. But I'm just making excuses now because if I were to go back now, I bet you I could still handle. I bet you I could handle that class 10 times better. But like he was like, "Are you proud of your program?" And I was like, "What?" And I was making all these excuses in the book, and it wasn't anything. Like it was just me making excuses, man. But it's like now I look back on it and I'm like, man, like why was I that dumb and acting that way? But maturity happens. You kind of grow up a little bit. But no. So anyways, I'm teaching. I'm at Mike Stewart's and I was at the time I was dating this other girl and we were renting a room at her parents' house and well things fell through with her and I. We broke up and my mother lived in New Orleans, so she lives further away from Columbia, Maryland. My brother lives in South Carolina, and my father lives here. Me and my father he's a good guy. We don't really see too eye to eye. I mean, he's got some major issues, and he was the only person that I could reach out to. Like I knew, a girlfriend came to me and was like, hey, we need to have a talk, and I kind of knew exactly what it was happening, and so. We broke up and I called my father. I was like, hey, I need to move in with you. I don't have a place to stay. And he was like, all right. And I was making probably like 1,000 a month. Not even that, and my bills were like 800 a month. I had a brand new car that I was dumb of buying. I should have bought a used car, but I bought a new one because I was stupid. We make mistakes. But my insurance was like nearly $300. My car payment was $348. So it was stupid crazy. I had a cell phone that was almost 100. Actually, it was $109 a month. And I was just like, and so my bills were up, and I didn't have money to go out and live on my own and get my own apartment. I was like, I was 25 at the time, and 24, 25, something like that. And I go to my father's, and he let me. I was fortunate enough to let me sleep in his room in the basement. It's kind of like a storage room. Kind of honestly looked like a little closet. But I had a roof over my head and I had a bed and it was great. But it was just like very controlling. I got yelled at one time because I came home from work at 11:30, and I'm 25 years old, and then told me that I need to be in bed with the lights off by 12. I was like, bro, I'm 25. What are you doing? So things just kind of didn't really go. Me and him just weren't seeing eye to eye. There's a lot of things. I'm not gonna get too in detail. But so I'm making about $1,000. Well, anyways, long story short, I have to move out of his house. Out. I have no place to live. No place to live. I'm like, I was like, my choices were like I could move to Tennessee, or I mean New Orleans. I live with my mother and leave everything that I got here behind, and use my last like paycheck to leave, and then I'd have to leave Gracie, Maryland, which I was like certain. I was like Gracie, Maryland. Like I knew that was the place. Like for me to achieve my goals, I knew I had to be there. I knew that I had to be there. I knew that it was just such a good program. I felt it the minute I walked in there. I was like this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. I knew it. You know. I truly believe it. You just know when something's right, man. But I go in there, and I'm like, so I call Mike and like, Mike, man, like I don't have a place to live, bro. And it's like, and he's like, look, dude, he's like, just sleep on the mats, man. He's like, you can sleep on the mats for the next couple, for the next couple weeks until you get something situated. I was like, all right, thank you. I'm on the mats, and like I said, I'm making less than $1,000. Things aren't going real good. And then so I go in. What is it? I'm like every night. I mean, I'm waking up. I'm afraid that like landlord's gonna walk in and like see me on the ground. So I'm like, I'm like calling. I'm like checking Craigslist for like rooms to rent, sending messages like, hey, I can't afford this. Like, I'm just trying to find every way. I was like looking for jobs to try to get something, and then it's like slowly as I started proving my worth for Mike, and Mike kind of gave me some more opportunities to make more money within the company. So like I started getting paid a little bit more, but I still wasn't like making much. And I knew nothing about money management at all. Like I knew zero. I started learning a little bit, but I knew nothing about like pay yourself or anything like that. So it's like I'm like I can't afford this. I can't afford that. I'm like panicking, and so what I was getting like, dude, I was sleeping on the mats. I slept, at a another academy on yoga mats. I slept pretty much in like a little closet room at a friend that I was fortunate to stay at. I slept in the backseat of my car. Um, I was I had a member. I bought a membership at Lifetime so I could shower. That's like what I did. I washed my clothes at a friend's house, and I was like, and I was still training jujitsu, and I was like, I knew that's what I wanted to do, so I just kept chasing it, and I was like, this close to giving up, man. But like then I saw the light. I kind of started seeing more things, and again I saw the light because Mike Stewart got on me, man. He got on me and he was like, bro, he's like, look, this is some other ways to make money. This is how you need to be thinking. Stop thinking that you don't have money. You keep thinking you don't have money, you'll never have money. You'll never be successful. You like think you have like start doing, and it's like, and it just I was making all kinds of freaking excuses for everything, and then it's like one day it just kind of like clicked. And I started kind of understanding a little bit more, and again I'm still learning, but it's like I started learning a little bit more, and then anyway, so I was getting tired of like where I was living. I was driving myself insane. I mean, I was down to 145 pounds, unhealthy. So I went and I was like, I had enough money to go rent a room out. And I was renting this room out of the place, $575 a month, and and I was like, look, 575, like I'm gonna do this, like I have 1 month here, it's month to month, like I have 1 month here, I'm just gonna get this, and I moved in, and I was like, dude, like it was the best feeling ever to have my own room and to lay down. And dude, I slept on a little futon, like mattress thing that the landlord supplied for me. She gave me this little like cushion. It was a we called it the giant pillow. It was a giant pillow I slept on, and it was like it made me like it was the best thing ever, man. It's the best thing ever. And then we upgraded to a bed and all that kind of stuff. But then so then what happened was is like I I remember at one point I had $0 to my, or no, I had $10. I was actually negative $7 in my account, $7 and some change, and I had $10 in cash in my wallet, and it was another 2 weeks until payday, and I was like, I had no food at all. I was like, just scrounging everything for food. I had a couple students at the academy bring me like pizza and like muffins and cookies, so it made me, dude, it helped so much. But I was like, I was just scrounging for everything I possibly could. I mean, I was like, I bought so many chicken patties because it was so cheap at Walmart. I bought so many chicken patties when I did have money. That was what I ate, was just chicken patties because it was cheap. And I didn't have the money to actually like buy stuff and like peanut butter and jelly. Like that's what I punished. Um, and then I remember I had $10 to my name, and I was dating. I just started dating the girlfriend that I'm dating now, Nicole, and I was like, her and I every other day, like I'd go over her place, she'd come and stay with my place, and I remember it was like my turn to go over to her place, and I was like, all right, I have $10. I can either do this. I can either A, put $10 into groceries and make up an excuse and not go to Nicole's, or just tell her my situation, which I didn't want to tell her my situation because she's such a good person. I didn't want to scare her away. I was like, I don't want to tell her that I'm broke and I don't have money, so I didn't want to tell her that. So I was like this close to making up an excuse and be like, oh, I can't come over because I got to do this tomorrow morning or something like that. But but I could buy some groceries at $10 to help me. I would have bought probably like 2 things of chicken patties and been good for like 2 weeks. But and then or I could put the $10 in gas and drive 45 minutes down to like Gaithersburg or Germantown where she used to live. Ended up doing that. Put $10 into the gas tank, drove down to Germantown. Went down to Germantown, and I just remember like that night she made so much food. And, like she made so many things. We made muffins and I got to take a bunch of the muffins home. And I was like, yes, I have food. Like this is good. But I was broke and I had no money. And I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? Like, oh man, like I was like about to sell my Xbox and like sell some of these other things that I had just so I could eat a little bit. And then my good friend Zerwin messaged me. And Zerwin was like, hey man, I'm testing for my blue belt soon and I want to buy some privates from you to so that way we can cover some stuff. And I was like, dude, and it was like perfect. I was like, what are you doing tonight? Let's do it tonight. In fact, I think I was at Nicole's house when I was messaging him. I was like, what are you doing tonight? Let's do tonight. Hey, look, let's do a block of let's buy 5 and we'll do $30 a piece. Which, by the way, Zerwin, you still have one private. I'm gonna tag you in this when I share it. But you still have one private lesson, man. But I was like, let's do it tonight, man. Um, so he ended up like, he did it. He came by and I got 150 bucks and I was like, gas money, groceries. I was like, yes, I could do it. But again, I had 1 month still. My month was coming up and then Dan McFarlane, he's still good. Dude, this guy, like, I haven't told you, Dan. I know you're gonna probably read this, but Dan, like, you saved my ass so much. Like, Dan bought a block of 10 private lessons from me. Um, and like when he bought that block of 10, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I had enough money to pay for my rent and had some money left over, so I just put money aside. I was like, let me take money, put it aside. I now have 2 months here, or another month at the time. I was like, 'cause my month was almost up, so I put another month aside, and I was like, all right, great, yes, perfect. Um, and then this other guy, Joe, bought another block of 10, and then so I put another month aside, and Joe bought like a couple blocks of 10 from me, so I kept putting money aside. So I was like, all right, I at least have 4 months to try to get something going and making some money and get things going and pretty good. And so I'm like really strict on like what I'm buying, what I'm spending. I would take my paycheck and I would take a certain amount of money out. That was my food. Certain amount of money out. That was my gas. And I put that on the side, like under my keyboard here. And I wouldn't touch anything. I just leave it there and be like, so that would be my gas money. That would be my my grocery money. So I knew I wouldn't spend any more of it. And then I started, of course, start putting money aside. Pay yourself. Even if it's just $5 every paycheck, you have to put some kind of money aside for yourself. And I don't mean for yourself to go buy whatever. I mean just for yourself. For what if some shit happens? What if your fucking motor blows up and you need to replace your motor or whatever? Tires or something. So I'm like, all right, man, or groceries or gas for like what happened to me. So so thank you, Dan, for that. But Dan helped me a lot, and I was like, oh my God. And then and all this stuff started happening because Mike Stewart actually talked to me. He's a big mentor of mine, and he's helped me a lot. And he's really kind of told me, he's like, one time I just remember him being like, he's like, bro, he's like, he saw me like sharing things about like and comedy stuff about like me being broke, and they were like funny memes, but like still though that mindset's toxic. It's cancer, man. Sharing funny memes about being broke, bro. If like you can with that mindset, man. And I just remember him being like, look. He's like, if you're so tired of not having money, he's like, why the fuck aren't you out here busting your ass off? And I got pissed at the time he told me that. I remember I got so angry because I was like, I am fucking working hard. It was just after like me and my father had a split up situation, and then I broke up with that one girl, and then I'm homeless, and I was like so angry and upset, and I was like I'm trying my ass off, like what are you talking about? I'm not like I felt like there was no appreciation there, but that's because of the mindset that I was in at the time. I started making every excuse. He was like, why aren't you doing private lessons? Why aren't you going to all local businesses and trying to get them to sign up so that way you can get more money? And they're like, why aren't you doing this? And I'm just like, I got so angry, and I remember like I yelled at him a couple times, which Mike, I apologize for that again. But like it definitely woke me up, man. It woke me up and got me like on track, because it's like now I look at it and I'm like, bro, I made every excuse in the damn book, but I did it because I didn't want to own up to my own actions. I wanted to blame everything else in the world, like most people. Most people want to blame everything else for why they're not successful, why they can't achieve something, why they can't buy something, why they can't go on a vacation. But it's like, really, it's on you, man. It's on you. And if you don't know what to do, like go make a friend who's a freaking who makes more money than you and a little bit more successful. Go meet a friend who's an entrepreneur. If you don't have any friends, nobody's around, start following entrepreneurs on Facebook, Instagram, everything. Fill your entire Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything that you possibly can with nothing but positivity and entrepreneurship stuff and motivational quotes and millionaire quotes. Fill that with, I guarantee you, your life will change. Fill it. When you constantly wake up and you look at, oh, Dallas Cowboys did this, or this football team did that, or that baseball team did this, and you're watching all the football games, but you don't have time to, like if you are complaining now about not having money and you do not have a freaking, I'm trying to watch my language, but if you don't have a square reader, what is wrong with you? Everybody in the world should have a square reader. There is no reason why you should not have a square reader. A square reader is a little device that hooks up to your phone that you swipe a card through, and it pays you. It pays you. It's a way to take money. Another way to take money. What do people carry around now? People carry around cards. It's a way to take money, and it doesn't cost any money. You go on the website, squareup.com, you punch in your address, they send you the damn thing, and then you don't pay anything. It even has a website section, that you can put content or things on, and just things like you can put things. It's free, free. Now it sounds like, oh well, they got to make money somehow. Yes, they make money for every transaction you swipe. They make 2.75% of the transaction. If I swipe a credit card for $100, I have a client who wants to pay me $100 for something, and I swipe a credit card for $100. I pay Square $2.75. I am absolutely okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. You should have a damn Square reader, especially if you're starting your own business or doing any kind of thing. You better have a Square reader. There's no reason not to. Or if you don't have a Square reader, some form of thing just like it. You have to. You're crazy to not do something like that. And in the jiu-jitsu community, if you're trying to be an instructor and run your own academy, you have to. Private lessons, DVDs, birthday parties, any kind of other sales. Like, everybody should have one. What if if you get stuck in a pinch and you're like, crap, I don't have any money, sell some of your damn clothes. Facebook just came out with a store page. Like, do a store page and sell a couple of your clothes for like $5, $10. Hey, oh man, I don't have cash on me. Hey, that's okay. Do you have a card? I'll take your credit card. Swipe your card. Boom, $5, make $10. I had somebody the other day come up to me and was like, hey, you got the Kimura Trap DVD? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, hey man, I don't have any cash on me. That's okay. Do you have a card? Yes. Okay, $40. Boom. Swipe it through. I made a quick $40. I'm sorry, $38 or about like $38. I made it, $39, wherever it comes out to. I'll see it in a couple of days. But like it's like so. Anyways, so I started doing more privates, and these guys started buying more blocks of privates, and it really started helping me a lot. And then I went and I started making DVDs, and I'm making these DVDs not because like I want to, not because I think I'm some know-it-all or anything like that. Not at all. I'm a lousy purple belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know much. I've been training about 5.5 years full time. I don't know anything. But what I do know is I need to make money so I can put food in my belly, and so I can get a roof over my head and a bed to sleep in. That's what I do know. And what I did is I was like, look, I'm going to make this DVD here. I'm going to make something with some kind of knowledge I have. If people buy it, cool. If they don't buy it, cool. I'm not going to belittle you for not buying a private lesson or buying a DVD from me. I'm not going to, oh, you get better if you do that. I'm not going to do anything like that. But at least I have the option. If somebody wants to just support me for being me, if somebody wants to maybe get better, I can help somebody. I'm offering a service that somebody else may want, and you at least have to offer it. If you're teaching jiu-jitsu right now and you're not at least posting once a week about private lessons, and again, there's nothing wrong with private lessons. Like, you should be posting once a week about private lessons. You should. All somebody has to do is come up to you and just be like, hey man, I'm having trouble escaping the mount. And you do a private lesson with them on escaping the mount. What if that dude's a police officer and that dude gets mounted in a fight, and then he used the moves that you taught him? Oh, I bet you he's pretty glad that he bought that lesson and that you gave him that lesson. It's like, as long as you're offering a service. We're not scheme artists. I don't believe in these little scheme artists that are out there. Not that I don't believe in. I don't like them doing things like, oh, pay money here and you make this amount of money. Blah, blah, blah. I hate that stuff. But if I'm willing to offer you a service that I'm extremely passionate about, I will give you everything. I will help you as much as I possibly can and do whatever I possibly can to help you. And there's nothing wrong with asking for a little bit of money back for my services. There's nothing wrong with that. But you need to you need to offer something if you're going to be in that jiu-jitsu industry, and you're going to do that. Unless you have a very successful business and that's it. It's just you have 1 million students and you make all kinds of money. It's like, and you help people, man. I've done private lessons with so many law enforcement guys now, and victims of sexual assault and all that kind of stuff, and they've came in and have done private lessons with me, and I'm going to help you as much as I possibly can. Whatever you want to work on. You need to work on punch defense, I'm going to help you with that. Maybe you just want to work on getting out of the mount. You have a tournament coming up and you need to get good at passing the guard. I'm going to help you with that. I want to help you. If you don't take my service, then that's okay. I don't hate you. You don't take it, you don't take it. But if you do take it, then great. You get to help me out too. But yeah, so I started doing these DVDs because I needed to make some kind of money. So I bought like a USB port from Walmart that plugs into my computer because I didn't have a CD drive. It's a custom built computer because, again, I'm dumb and spend my money on stupid stuff. Well, I did. I'm much smarter now with it. But so I plugged this USB cord into it, and I spent $40 online to buy a DVD burning software, and I just started. I use Windows Movie Maker to create the DVD, and I just started editing the DVD myself and filming it with my iPad that I bought a long time ago. Filming with my iPad. It's like, so I'm just like, I start editing everything. Well, no, I'm sorry, I didn't edit with Windows Movie Maker. I did the very first one. I started using iMovie on the iPad. I'm telling you, the iPad and the iPhone, like, every business should have one. If you are a business owner, especially a small business owner, you need to have an iPhone, or you need to have at least some kind of smartphone. There you go, smartphone, not just iPhone. You need to have a smartphone. It ties to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everything is inside that phone for you to make money. You have pictures, you have videos, you have all kinds of different content that you can release. You can go right onto YouTube and do stuff, all kinds of things. So anyways, I went and I was like, I was I started doing these DVDs and I started making more money, and it helped me so much that I want to help you guys. I want to help whoever else is having trouble. I want to give back. I want to help. I was like, and that's what that's kind of one reason why I'm doing this, is maybe there's somebody out there that that is struggling, that is having some trouble, and sometimes it's just good to hear some of these stories. This is all that I used to do. And every time I was upset, depressed, having trouble, I had YouTube motivational stories, or motivational, millionaire success stories and things like that. Some people having trouble and being broke, and then all of a sudden it kicks off, and next thing you know, like, they start doing so good, So, but like, now I'm offering a fundamentals package. It's a 10 private lesson. You save $100 for doing the 10 private lessons. And it covers all the fundamental ground stuff, everything from starting with just escapes, and then like some sweeps and stuff off your back, and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely increases, like, it's a service that helps you. And once I started offering that and doing that, like I've had in the past month, I've had six people buy this package for me, and it's allowed me to achieve my financial goal this year, which is to put a big chunk of money aside into my savings and have it on side, which I set that goal not expecting to achieve it. And I'm very fortunate that I have the people that support me and the people that are willing to help me, and like I said, the team I'm with and everybody, to give me an atmosphere where I can strive and where I can be successful and achieve some of these goals. And I was able to do so because of these guys. Everybody that I do a private lesson with, I always tell them, and I mean it from deep down inside my heart, how thankful I am for for them. Just it's insane how much it helps me. It's every time, like, hey bro, like I said, like, Zerwin helped me, dude. I had no food. If I didn't get that private from Zerwin, I didn't know what the hell I would do. But it brought out my inner, like, hustle side. Like, but it's not like there's nothing wrong with hustling. Something's wrong with hustling when you're screwing somebody over. I'm not screwing anybody over. I'm helping somebody get what they need. So, like, it brought my inner hustle side out, and like, oh man, I have to make this money. Boom. When you're hungry, you start doing more, man. And then the same thing. And then Dan bought the block of 10 and gave me another month and a home. Like, that's what that does. Like, this is why I love to support small businesses, man, because it's like, when you buy a big business, or when you spend money in a big business, like, yeah, that's good. Sometimes you have to, because your financial situation may not be the best, or there's probably something that you really like. But man, anytime you can support a small business, and I've heard so many people say this, and I'll say it as well, is anytime you support a small business, you're helping them put their child through college, or their child to school, or food on the table for their kid, or food on the table for them. Like, and I feel good about that. I feel very, very good about that. A small business that's struggling, like, that business could be about to go out of business. They don't know, they haven't eaten for like 6 days, a couple days, whatever, and then you buy something from them, and they're like, oh my god. 'Cause that's what happened to me. Like, that was my situation. Man. But and that's so that's kind of like where I'm at right now. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a millionaire. I consider myself to be successful to an extent. Like I said, success means a bunch of different things. Well, the reason part of my success is to me, successful is being happy, and for me, it's doing what you love. That's a personal goal of mine. I want to do what I love to do. I don't want to wake up and go to a job that I don't like. I don't want to wake up, and be unhappy in the environment that I'm in. I'm absolutely happy with where I'm at. I live with my girlfriend who we've been together for a year and a little over a year, and I mean I couldn't ask for a better woman to support me. I have a phenomenal job where I'm at with the team that I'm at. I have tons of people that, like I said, that support me. And I get to wake up and teach jujitsu to kids, to adults, to everybody, and have a good time. And it's such a positive environment. I like it. Some people's success is for them being a manager at a grocery store. And if that's your success, man, then be you. Fucking own it. Own up to it. Whatever your success is, freaking kill it. Do it, man. But man, you know, if you're out there struggling or you're out there trying to chase your passion, I want this video to, I want you to see this video, and then I'm going to do one next year or in 6 months, and then I'm going to do another one. And as I start to become more and more successful, I want you guys to see this stuff, and I want it to be your motivation. I want it to be like, I want to see you post videos about it, because it's inspiring to myself to say this again, and it sucks because I talk about, there's a lot of things that I wish I'd done differently in a way, but in a way I'm kind of thankful that I didn't. It's all part of the learning process. Every time something bad happens, you got to remember, like you can't wish that it didn't happen because you learn from it. So it's like jujitsu, if you never got caught in an armbar, you never know what it's like to be armbarred. You never learn the escape properly. But it's like you get choked and caught in armbar so much that you learn these escapes and you get better at getting out of them, and then you get better. It's like every time I've been armbarred, I got better at the defense, and now it's like now guys put me armbar and I can somewhat escape. I still suck, but I can somewhat escape, But that's all. That's kind of all for this video log right now. Right now the goal is is to grow within this company that we're at. Gracie, Maryland. We're growing fast. We're working on opening the third academy. Mike Stewart's working to open the third academy. He's doing his own thing for like teaching for some businesses and some colleges, and it's all motivating the hell out of me, man. It's all inspiring. It's seeing all the extra ways he's pushing himself, so that way he can pay for his family and support them, and it's motivating because it's like you see somebody else going through their struggles, and you see somebody else go through the hard work, and it makes you want to work harder. At least it does for me, and it makes me strive harder. And every time somebody comes, I'm telling you right now, anytime you decide to do what you love, somebody out there is going to bash you for it. Somebody out there is going to say, like, go get a real job, or do this or do that, or you can't do this, you'll never make money. From the real beginning, I've had nothing but people tell me, even close friends and family members tell me, go get a real job, you're not gonna make a living out of this, you're not gonna make enough money, all this kind of stuff. And now it's like, now where I'm at, I'm like, hey, I'm making it work. I mean, I haven't done it fully yet to my standards, but I'm making it work, and I'm going to eventually because, like I said, I believe in myself, and you need to believe in yourself as well, man. I had someone who I considered a close friend who was also an instructor tell me to go get a real job and to grow up and to have kids and to get married, and I was just like, what? Like, what? But you gotta remember, man, like, there's gonna be haters out there. There's gonna be people that are just gonna hate you. There's gonna be people that are gonna be jealous and there's gonna be tons of people that are gonna tell you don't do something, and they're not doing it because they hate you. They're doing it because they love you, and they're telling you, hey, if somebody tells you go get a real job or go do this, they're saying it because they love you, but it's because they don't believe it that they don't believe in it. They don't believe it's possible to make money that way, because either A, their dreams have failed on them, so they're trying to help you, or B, they just don't see it. They don't see the possibility because they haven't seen it yet. They haven't seen the light, Whatever you're doing, man, if you want to, this came from this guy, Rob, I can't remember his last name, Rob Bailey. He's a singer, but he has this sick motivational speech. And this is going to be the last thing I'm going to say because this is a long video. I doubt any of you guys actually watch the full thing or listen to the full thing, but Rob Bailey was like, look, man, he's like, one thing he kind of talks is he's talking about doing what you love, and he talks about, look, if you love to paint, like, just paint. Go to work, come home, and paint. Do what you love in your free time. Go to work, come home, paint. He's like, paint on walls. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Paint on paper plates. Paint on paper. Like, everything. He's like, because what's going to happen is you're filling your inner soul of doing what you love, and you're getting better at it. You're honing your craft, and next thing you know, somebody's going to be like, "Hey, that looks pretty cool. I'll buy that from you for $10." Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I'll do it. Hey, man, I need you to paint these walls at my business. I'll give you $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. Or hey, man, that's a pretty cool portrait. I want to hang that up in my mansion. Oh, I do that. Okay, yeah, I'll buy that for $1,000. Hey, can you make me 10 more like that? I have some friends, or I want to put this up in other parts of the room. Next thing you know, you're making 10 grand. Like 15 grand. You're making all this money, or you get a contract somewhere. Somebody wants to paint something. And it's like that's where it all starts from. But it's not like an overnight success. It doesn't happen. Hours and hours and hours of working on your craft. When people are sleeping, work on your craft. When you have some free time, work on your craft. If you tell me that you don't have the time for something, but you have the time to go to a bar, but you have the time to watch a football game, watch Game of Thrones, watch Walking Dead. If you have the time for that, but you tell me that you don't have the time to go do a private lesson, to go do a seminar, or to make this little free website or a YouTube video or anything like that. Man, there's guys out there making money off YouTube. Just off YouTube. Whatever it is you love to do, you need to do it in your free time. So that's that. Video log pre-1, number 1, October 31st, Halloween, 2016. In 6 months, I'll come back and kind of talk a little bit more. If you watch the whole thing, guys, I appreciate it. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, man, I'm extremely thankful to be where I'm at. I appreciate everything that's going on. And like I said, if you take anything away from this, believe in yourself, man. Just believe in yourself more than anything, and you'll be where you want in life. What you'll see here, guys, I've got my Instagram, my Twitter, and my YouTube page. If you want to follow me, and just to whether you follow me just to stalk what I do, see more content, or you just want to support me and follow me, or whatever it is, I post so many things, especially on Instagram. I have like over 170 videos on YouTube of technique and competition stuff. So it's A Miller Steven, spelled out just like that, at each one of those sites. And then what you see down here is this is my square. This is the square. This is the web page. On there, I have the DVDs that I currently have released. I have 3 of them. Kimura Trap, and then man, what's the other one? Shoot, man, I can't even. Oh, Kimura Trap, Omoplata Mount, and Omoplata. And then I've got pressuring into submissions and submission escapes, which that's actually like a 2-part DVD. They're all for like $40 for each one. That's super inexpensive, and you're gonna get something out of it. And then I also have a donation section if you guys just want to help support and help me support me continue my journey. I really appreciate everything that everybody has done. Even if you guys could just share this video and give it a like and comment below it, I really appreciate that as well. Stay tuned, guys. Gracie, Maryland. We're growing, man. We're gonna be at a place near you guys. And if we open an academy next to you guys, please swing by, catch a roll with me or Mike or Jordan or all of us. Or sign up if you're not in an academy. I really recommend right now. Take away 3 things. Train jiu-jitsu, first thing, always. Second thing, believe in yourself, man. Believe in yourself no matter what. It doesn't matter who. If you don't believe in yourself, falsely believe in yourself, because eventually you're going to believe it till you make it, right? You're going to fake it till you make it. You're going to eventually believe in yourself. So believe in yourself, man. And then the third thing, and I know it's hard to believe in yourself, man, but sometimes things just aren't going your way, but you still have to believe everything's going to be okay. And the third thing, man, fill your mind, your Facebook, your Twitter, your YouTube, everything with positivity. Eliminate all the negativity. If you're trying to do an entrepreneur route, or you're trying to find other ways to make money, or you're just struggling, anything, follow entrepreneurs anyways, because their mindset is it's contagious, but it's good contagious. It's good positivity. There's such a good mindset to have, is the way that a lot of entrepreneurs think, man. But never forget that it's never about the money. It's never about the money. It's solely about the passion, and that's what it is for me. Is I love what I do, and I want to help everybody that I possibly can with everything, whether it's self-defense to depression to fitness to losing weight to making friends to coming out of the comfort zone, opening up, confidence, whatever it is, Thank you guys. Peace.